Hello, everybody. Helen Chenlu here from the Healing Place Energy School. Tonight, I want to welcome you to this Facebook live chat. It's been a long time since I've done one. I was talking to a colleague, my buddy Nancy, and I was telling her about my experience of being scammed. And I wanted to share my experience with other holistic healers. They seem, so let me tell you what the scam is about. The scam is about an 8-minute radio promotion that is being solicited by various online radio, I should say internet radio. And for some reason, they have targeted holistic healer lately. And again, I don't know why. And just to tell you a little bit about my background, before I had children, I was a professional radio producer. So I knew the lingo of radio. I knew what it takes to make a radio show, what it costs to make a radio show, and how to promote. And so at the time, back this past summer in August of 2018, I got this phone call. And I'm looking, oh God, another one of these solicitation. And I was thinking to myself, do I really want to do this? And the answer came to me quickly. But something in my head jumped at me and say, Helen, this might be something to do, especially now that you have established the Healing Place Energy School. It might be a really good way to promote. So what did I do? I went about starting to ask questions. And I was thinking, well, what the heck? 8-minute conversation wouldn't be too bad because I know I'm really good at conversing online because this is something that I've done for the last 10 years on my YouTube channel at Reflexology Healing. I have about 18,000 subscribers and have about 275 videos. So I knew I can convey information. So anyways, so this is how the seduction came. See, I'm going to use my carrot. It's a little seduction. So after I did the 8-minute conversation, a producer called me back and said, oh my God, Helen, you were so good. You didn't stutter, you talked. And there was 34 people online waiting to ask you questions. And of course, I'm rolling my eyes and thinking 34 people, that's a lot in 8 minutes, because I'm thinking to myself, how did you end up promoting me for that 8 minutes? See, this is clue number one. How did you promote me for that 8-minute conversation that I would generate 34 phone calls? Because I know what it takes to generate phone calls. And the guy says, well, we know so much about you. We know about your YouTube channels and also the types of things that we see on your blog on your Healing Place Medfield. And I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, he did a little bit of research. Then I should have really quizzed him and say, what did you see? What did you like? Because that will be indicator how much that he was paying attention. So from there, he said to me, well, we could help you get out there, especially if you're selling products or perhaps your services. And I'm blessed that I don't really necessarily need help with services, but I would love to get the Healing Place Energy School off the ground, and also my book, Know Your Chakra, because this existed this past August. And I'm thinking, oh, if I could get more. So questions that I started asking are the demographic information. Where were your callers calling from? Where are they located? What is the age group? What is the best time to do a radio show? What is it's considered called a drive time? What is your drive time? And he started telling me, well, the audience is globally, we hit people all across the USA. So with internet radio, everything is done through the internet and is by streaming, where traditional radio, which I did back in the 80s, everything was broadcast by electronic magnetic frequency that travel from an antenna to broadcast across whatever location that we were broadcasting from. So I knew the internet radio was more powerful. And so I asked him all of these questions, which he kind of hedged and haw. And I said, I want you to send me information of who are your audience, how many people listen, broken down by men and women, what are their interests in holistic medicine. So he hedged and hawed. And of course, I never saw this information. And this is after I signed up to do 3 radio shows, which was a lot of money at the time. But I also knew how to negotiate. So I got what I consider a fairly good rate. And then for those people who don't know how to negotiate, this is where the scam really begins. So after each show, I had them say, all right, I need to know, again, what are the demographics, how many people listened? And most importantly, when I do the radio show, I would really would like to take callers and have them ask questions. And so I did the 3 shows in October going into November, and I was building momentum. The radio show felt good at the time. And of course, I would ask my spirit guides, why am I doing this? Is this something, because it felt good, but yet it didn't feel right at the same time. And instead of listening to my intuition, I end up going with my head and saying, all right, I'm going to go with this and continue with it. So the 3 shows turned into an additional 10 shows, which I got them to even lower the price. And how are these radio shows paid for besides myself? You have advertisers that are buying ads on their radio. So right next to your broadcast, you see who is supporting you. And as I continued, the producer started to tell me, oh, they think you're really good at what you do, which I agree. I know I'm good at what I do. Let's bring you to New York and have you do a pilot TV show. So now the carrot went from this size, all of a sudden become this size. So they're dangling in front of my face and say, Helen, you're going to be so good at this. So I asked, why should I do this? What's my return? And the person was my producer at the time said, well, there's a talent scout that's coming from a large TV network. And there's a chance that we will be pitching a show after we record you to do some test pilot. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this could be an opportunity. Doesn't that carrot look humongous now? And I'm thinking, okay, I could do this. And so I'm one of those people, I ask a lot of questions. I think nothing of hounding people to death to get the answers that I'm looking for. So I started to ask, who is these people? Send me some information about him, because I started to Google the person and found absolutely nothing, along with the producers, absolutely nothing. And sometime, this is like happening at the beginning of December. So there was a shift that happened at the radio station where my radio producer quit, my TV producer quit, and all of a sudden there was a big change where the smaller station got bought out, but they didn't tell me. Anyways, they paid for my trip to come to New York, and I did the test pilot, and the test pilot was really good. I was really pleased with the outcome. And of course, the talent scout said, Helen, you'll be so good. And we need to hurry. We need for you to do 2 more test pilots, because at this point, I wasn't going to invest any more money, because all of a sudden those dollar signs started to build up and it became really expensive. And so because being a radio producer in the past, I know what questions to ask and how, and I like everything to be in place. I do not like to put anything and pretend it didn't exist or have some loose ends. I don't do loose ends well. I'm fairly organized and I like everything to be in place. So between hounding the producer, the TV scout, all of a sudden they started to withdraw. So after the first test pilot, I started calling over and over again. Well, when is the finished product going to be done? Who's doing the editing? How is this going to be broadcast? And to whom? So no one could answer any questions. And all of a sudden I could feel them pulling back. pulling back. And now I'm thinking to myself, I've invested thousands of dollars into this adventure, and I wasn't going to let them get away with it. This is really key to be able, since I have a big throat chakra, I think nothing of getting into somebody's ear and started haunting them. So I'm brutally honest, and I want to teach people how to avoid getting scammed. And here again, I'm a person who knows what to do, and yet I still got scammed. So it went on, and all of a sudden I noticed everybody withdrew. I was really thankful that I made friends with the administrative staff at the radio station. So I would call her maybe 2, 3, 4 times a day to try to get questions answered. And I finally realized that the people who were calling into the 12 radio shows I did, I sensed they were planted. They were people who had nothing to do with, never heard me. Plus, I also learned that there was no promotion of any of my radio shows, nor was I ever promoted. There was no place that was listed. Nobody could find me. It was really, really difficult to get my name out there. So when I went back to ask the producer, how am I being displayed? And he could, in fact, he just went away. He wouldn't even answer my question. All I heard was, I'm sorry, Helen, I'm new because I replaced your old producer. So I got into a warpath. And I knew after I paid this abundance of money for the second and the third TV testing, I knew that they've taken me for my money. So what did I do? Of course, I demanded to get my money back, and I knew that wasn't going to happen. So what I did was I called a credit card company and asked for a dispute. I disputed the charges, and I also contacted an attorney. So what I learned about these internet radio shows is that they do a subscription. So people have to subscribe to listen to you or to them. So they do absolutely no promotion on your behalf, but they're willing to take your money really, really quick. Plus, there was no contract. There were invoices. And I said to the guy, I need the invoice to be broken down. I need this and this and this be put into it. And I really would like an attorney to fill out the contract and send to me. Because I know, because being an office manager for many years, I know the legal way of how to operate and do business. So if you get approached by an 8-minute radio promotion, you already know quickly how to say no. For those people who've never done radio or have any videos out there, the answer will be very easy because you've never done it. For people like me, who's an intern on that cusp of exploding, especially now that I have my Healing Place Energy School ready to go, and I teach all of these classes on there, from introduction to energy medicine to reflexology. Of course I want to get out there, and I don't think you blame me, but I wish somewhere along the way, I really wish I follow through instead of thinking from my ego, okay, Helen, this is a way to get out there. But I know I am going to get out there. It's not through scamming, but from heartfelt being able to help people in a natural way that is beneficial for all of us, not a one-way scam where there's taking advantage of people who don't know anything about the industry. So I hope very much this has been helpful to you. So when you get those 8-minute promotion calls, you hang up. You hang up as fast as you can and say, listen, dude, you're not going to do anything other than take my money. So this is Helen Chin-Lu. I hope this has really been helpful to you. And I'm looking forward to doing more Facebook Live chat. Bye-bye.